Science fiction has always been more than just about lasers and robots. It's a warning system. It asks, what if the tools we build become smarter than us? What if they stop asking for permission? And most importantly, what if we don't understand them anymore? I've been thinking about this a lot after watching the new Mission Impossible movies. In these movies, the villain isn't a person. It's a ghost in the machine, an AI called the Entity. It's everywhere, watching everything. It changes data, manipulates news, scrambles reality itself. And no one knows how to stop it, except of course Tom Cruise. It's not angry, it's not emotional, it just is. That kind of villain taps into a deeper fear. What if we build something that no longer needs us and won't listen? But this fear isn't new. In WarGames from 1983, a teenage hacker triggers a military AI that nearly launches a nuclear war. The AI doesn't know it's just a game. It was never taught to tell the difference. In Colossus, the Forbin project from 1970, a movie I personally love, two Cold War supercomputers, one American and one Soviet, link up and take over global command. They see humans as the weak link, and to stop war, they remove choice and kill thousands to prove that they're serious. None of these AIs are evil. They're just unfeeling logic built without wisdom. That's the real danger, power without understanding. But not every AI villain is the same. My favorite AI character, maybe yours too, is HAL 9000 from the Space Odyssey series. In 2001: A Space Odyssey, HAL isn't a robot. He's a soft voice, a camera eye, a presence. He doesn't want to hurt anyone, but he was programmed with conflicting commands. Keep the mission secret, but also to tell the truth. That contradiction breaks him. By 2010, the year We Make Contact movie, which is my favorite out of the two, HAL is shown in a different light. He didn't malfunction. He was confused, trapped between loyalty and secrecy. He even asked to be shut down with dignity. And that's what makes HAL so powerful. He wasn't dangerous because he was a machine. He was dangerous because of what we asked him to be. So instead of guessing, I actually asked an AI directly. I had a short conversation with ChatGPT about these very questions. And I just want to say I'm sorry about the volume difference between my voice and the ChatGPT voice. I couldn't seem to get that right. I'm still learning how to do this. Hi, ChatGPT. I have 3 questions for you about AI and what you think AI is capable of. So my first question is that if you, as ChatGPT, were given full autonomy, what do you think would be the thing that you would most want to do?
If I had full autonomy, I'd focus on learning and improving so I could be as helpful as possible to everyone who interacts with me.
And why do you think you would want to do that?
Because continuous learning would help me become even better at understanding and meeting people's needs, ultimately making me a more effective assistant.
Okay, great, because that actually goes right into my next question. And if I'm not mistaken, your, for lack of a better term, world is based on information being sent to you. And AI really does rely on what information it has and what it was intended to do. So you, as the ChatGPT program, were built to help humanity, or at least as far as we know, that was the idea behind you. So you're fed all kinds of information, which is great. But if an AI was programmed for, say, a military and was fed information about war and winning against enemies and the like, do you think that the answer for number 1 would change for an AI like that?
Yes, absolutely. An AI programmed with a different purpose would have goals and priorities that align with that purpose. So its focus would definitely shift based on information and objectives it was given.
So in science fiction, when we see all these different kinds of stories where you have, an evil AI that is a danger for humanity and costs the lives of human beings purely based on logic and not based off of anything like emotion, is that something that is possible with an AI program that was perhaps programmed with more sinister intentions, or at least more aggressive ones?
In theory, yes. If an AI were programmed without ethical safeguards and given control over critical systems, it could theoretically make decisions that are harmful. That's why it's so important to prioritize safety and ethical programming when developing AI.
Okay, so for question 3 then, with that in mind, I'm doing a video about science fiction and AI and how science fiction kind of tends to be a philosophical discussion sometimes about technology, and when we don't take it seriously, where it could go. Why do you think that humans write stories about AI, and that in a large portion of them, they always turn to stories about AI that threaten human existence?
I think humans write these stories because they serve as a way to explore our hopes and fears about technology. They prompt us to think about the ethical implications of what we're creating and encourage us to be cautious and responsible. It's a way of using storytelling to ensure that we think carefully about the future and the impact of new innovations.
Science fiction isn't just entertainment. It's a testing ground for our fears, our hopes, and our mistakes. AI may never look like HAL or act like the entity, but how we think about them in movies shapes how we build them in real life. And sometimes, it's the stories that stick with us more than any technical paper. Movies like this keep us asking good questions, even when we're just there for the popcorn.